Well, it smells like PB Blaster in here. That must mean we're getting something done, huh? Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. We are working on taking apart some differentials over the weekend here. We got the Michigan Parts Tractor differential kind of taken apart last night. As a refresher, if you don't remember, we're hoping to be able to use these chunks on this differential, which is from that transmission, because this half was broken. So we're taking them apart to compare if pieces are compatible or not, because there is differences. The holes are different, so they've changed design, and we just discovered, we think we know why what they changed. So this is your inside gear there. It's currently stuck in there, but that should be just a free turning part. Inside of this, there's no, it's just steel to steel. On this differential, which would most likely is a little bit newer, you can see they added a bronze insert inside in between the two parts. So that's probably the difference when they changed castings then to accommodate for that possibly. So we got to get it all apart to compare notes to see what we can flip and flop. You can see here we didn't loosen these yet. That's how they were in there, loosey-goosey. So something is funny with this differential. I don't know if somebody's been here before and didn't put it together right or what's going on. Hopefully we'll figure out more as we get it all taken apart. Okay, more observations. We got this half off. This is like machined funny. This inner portion is lower than this outer part. So you can see where it was, the pressure was only on that outside edge. So that might explain why that other side is cracked. The pressure is not even, as opposed to like this one, it's machined all one flat surface, and you can clearly see where it was contacting all one flat surface here, so the pressure was even. And going from memory, I think the differential in the first transmission was like this one, but that's been a minute, so I'd have to go back in the videos and look, pictures. But just showing you these observations as we discover them here. Of course, this one is a lot nicer to take apart. Everything is free, not stuck like the Michigan one is. All these gears are stuck in here yet. Everything is seized. But the Babbitt, surprisingly, is not obviously wore out like these ones are.
The piece is falling out.
Oh, yeah, there's the chunk. Flip this over.
I want to just lift this one off.
Okay.
So we don't lose the...
Where we were going to go with it.
Right down there. Ready?
Yep.
Let's see what the other side looks like. Yeah, same thing.
Same thing. Machined.
That's weird.
I wonder if they messed up machining it, or if they did that on purpose, or...
And that's the bad.
Broken.
That would explain why it broke, though.
Yeah, probably.
You can see here where it's just all fretted up.
Yeah, from things running loose.
Things running loose.
And the bolts, you could see on the bolts too, the same thing. Running loose. They're all fretted up.
Okay.
Well,
Let's see if things are interchangeable here. Yeah, she's moving there.
okay, we are working on getting this apart. We got these pins out, and you just seen Dad, we got these pins here. At least they wiggle, so getting them out Shouldn't be nearly as hard as what I had to struggle with on the first transmission, because they were stuck good in that one. We made a funny little discovery here. So these are the pins that were in here. 1, 2, 3. 2 of them are normal long pins like you would expect to find. The third one was 2 pieces. Somebody got away with something at the factory there. They probably got a pin stuck or something, you suppose, and
yeah, cut it off and drove another one in
from the other side, or yeah, cheated. Nobody will ever find out. Well, 100 years later, they got busted. So yeah, we'll try to get this all apart.
You got the gear off.
Oh yeah, well first, yeah, we got that gear off here first. That was the first step. So we just set it on 3 pieces of box tubing there on the good solid floor and hit it with the hammer and slowly just got that center section out of that gear. So making progress here. So we've got to show you what we're up to here. We've got a pry bar. We'll show you what we're doing here in a minute. But you see this N on here. That's from my great grandpa Nels Swanson. This is my grandpa's hammer with the blue on it. He painted all his tools blue. We got Dad and me, so you can kind of say we got 4 generations of people working on this. Here's another one. That
Another N.
Great grandpa's hammer there.
Great grandpa.
It's on that too.
Oh, yeah.
Hacksawed his initials in his tools. Working on a tractor that would have been great grandpa's vintage too. What were you saying? He was born
in the late 1800s.
Late 1800s.
So you would have been a young man.
When this tractor was new, yeah. We'll show you our process here to get these pins out, what we were working on.
Couple bars.
Couple bars there. And then...
Of course, this one probably
this will probably be the stubborn one. Now that you're watching.
Yeah.
The other one slid right out.
There, come a little bit.
I don't know if it did or not. That one's being stubborn. That was that one with the weird pin. That they goofed up that pin because we ground that one to get it out. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, anyway, that's the process. You get these pins slid out, and then then those come off like so. And then
slide together.
This is bushing has come on. Grease is stuck right on it. It's got little oil grooves in the back side there. We are winning. This is the Michigan Parts Tractor one. The most crusty. And I'm not saying we didn't have to do a little cheating, but we got her off. And actually, all the parts, with the exception of the gears being no good, all the pins and stuff I think are actually clean up just fine and be usable parts if necessary. Because there's not even any rust inside all the rollers. All the rust was just on the outside. They actually had the bronze washers, bushings, whatever you want to call them, thrust washers backwards. They should be like this. They had them like this because those are fixed in here. They don't rotate. So the only thing rotating is the gear against these. So the oil groove should be towards the gear, I would imagine. So yeah, we got that one apart. We got that one apart. That's the other one over there. Move the parts over there to get them out of the way for now. So the only thing we got to get apart yet is to get those gears loose from the 2 halves here. Those are stuck yet. So that's part of the next fight. Well, there we go. No sooner did I turn the camera off, Dad tried a little bit more pressure on it and she popped loose. So that's good. We've been just letting that one soak and just sitting in the press with just a little bit of pressure on it. Patience is key with these kind of projects. So we've got things roughly cleaned up and figured out here. So this is the original half of the differential. And that one has the bronze bushing like we mentioned earlier. Got it cleaned up. A little bit of play there, but I think that'll be okay. This is the half of the Michigan parts tractor with the original gear in it. That has no bronze bushing. And same story, that fit just a little bit of play. I think that'll be okay. So we think the timeline goes this differential being in the 25 obviously is first. So they had the bronze bushing and then they eliminated it for either cost-cutting reasons, maybe they figured it wasn't necessary. For whatever reason, they simplified and they got rid of that bronze bushing by 26. And the whole location and sizes moved from 25 to 26. That has to be for lubrication reasons of some sort. They must have figured that the oil would get in there better, maybe when it was on the, we're not sure. That's pure speculation there. But that's the only reason those holes are there, is to let the lubrication inside of the differential. So we will take these two halves. We'll take the 3 good original gears. We'll take whichever 2 housings are in better good shape here for the babbitt. Of course, that'll have to be rebabbited, and we will turn these true at that same time. Well, actually, I'll have my buddy Matt do that like he did with the other differential. So that's all doable. That'll have to get done because, of course, this babbitt is wore out. No surprise there. This is the second half of the Michigan differential. This one, it would be a usable part, but this one is worse than this one. It was a bad casting from new. It's got all these pits, and they like filled them in with babbitt. It looks like it was just a poor casting, very porous, perfectly functional and usable, but you know, and even just the castings themselves is kind of a bad casting. So we picked the better of the two. Like I said, this one was a lot better, so we'll use that one. These all got to be final cleaned up yet, of course. We'll just clean them up enough just to check everything. And then this is the original gear with the center section from the Michigan parts tractor. Because like we talked about, the machining on the original center section, it was like they goofed at the factory. There was a new guy on the machine that day or something, and this is not all true on that other casting where it is on this one like it should be. So we will use this center section, this gear. Basically all we're going to use is the center section and this from the Michigan tractor to complete the original differential. That's probably the simplest way to explain it. So we've got a lot more cleaning things up to do here, and some more dry fitting just to double and triple check that everything is going to work together. And then we'll make some new thrust bearings like we did with the first one. These are the old ones from that one. We dug them out just to compare to these ones, and they're all similarly wore out and embedded with bits of metal. So we'll make up some new ones for that, and we should be good to go. So to get those stuck gears out of these ones, what we had done is we had these set up in the press, blocks on either side. We used a bearing driver piece of round on the end of that gear, set it up in the press with just moderate pressure. We didn't put a ton on there, and then we heated the outside of this a little bit with just a little propane torch. Did that twice, and it let go a little bit, let it cool down, and then a little bit more, and it came free. So that wasn't terrible to get them loose. Well, everything is fit together here for a first fit, basically, just to kind of confirm all the gears worked and everything with each other, which we expected them to, but it's good just to check these things. So I think the next step is we'll have to get these halves and the bearings to Matt to remachine and rebab it for us, like we did with the first differential. I'll have to do some final cleanup. Dad'll make some new of the washers for us. We'll order some new material to do that, like we did the other ones, and Dad can machine them up. And then we can put it all together for final assembly, and that project will be done. Easy peasy, right? I think we can move on to the next thing here now. While Dad was here, we also worked on these clutch shoes. I had started that process, riveting on the new linings, but I had never finished it. It was a lot easier to do with the second set of hands here, so we got them all cleaned over. So that set of clutch shoes is done, and then the rest of the clutch for that tractor, the 26, we're going to send back to Wisconsin with them, so we can machine up. It's not this clutch, but the keyways, if you remember, were loose, so we're going to get some oversized key stock and make up some custom keys to tighten up all that loose parts. And then we still got to figure out to repair the throwout collar, the shifting clutch collar there, and then that whole clutch assembly for the other tractor will be done. And then we can do the whole process again with this one. I gotta get all these parts cleaned up this winter and do that. But almost one tractor's worth of clutch will be done then. So that's a good feeling of accomplishment. And we also spent some time, we looked at these steering boxes again to remind ourselves where we were at on that part of the project. We figured out our tapered gib keys situation. So basically I just got to get these housings cleaned up, and then he's going to make a steering shaft for me yet, and then we can do some final assembly on them. There's minimal we really have to do with them besides the actual physical cleaning up of all the parts, sandblast and wire wheel and all that kind of stuff. So we're kind of getting that ball rolling again. Now that winter is here, we're getting back on these projects. We're going to switch gears and start working on a Hart Par project here instead, but that'll be a different video. So for now, we're going to sign off, and thank you for watching, and see you again soon.